Hello and welcome to our first pay-per-view. I wanted to start off by saying I did kind of figure out the settings a little bit more, and so we should be zoomed in now, as I was really annoyed with the zoomed out look, so I appreciate your patience as I figured that out. So we start off our first pay-per-view with a pre-show match, so this isn't on pay-per-view. Danger Kid and Dark Eagle defeat Nation of Filth. This is just to get everybody on the show, and Danger Kid and Dark Eagle are two guys I didn't want to lose in the Battle Royal, as I was worried about like possible damages or momentum. I think that's been kind of adjusted from previous years, but I still wanted to be safe with them as they're going to be pinnacle in my cruiserweight division. We do start off our show with two cruiserweights losing to the Demons of Rage, with this time Demon Anger pinning Electrico. So I did change Professor Nero from Demon Anger, I think was the one with bad chemistry. And Mr. Lucha does take an L here, but it is not him directly. It's his partner, so I feel like that shouldn't hurt him too much. Just to get everybody on the card, Demons of Rage are going to be um, mainstays of my lead heel tag team right now, to be honest with you. So it's a good way to get them on the pay-per-view and give them credence now that we know Total Mayhem is going to be crowning our first champions. So we follow that match up with another match of our lower mid-card feud of Damon Carville and Whistler. We got the Canada guy versus the USA guy, with the USA guy for winning. Sorry if my breath there was loud, but yeah, pretty basic. I mean, nothing of note that I would be bragging about. I do want to point out that Whistler does like out popularity Damien by like 30 points, give or take, and he pretty much neck and neck with performance. So that tells me Damien should be a weapon going forward. Following that, we had Eric Tyler reveal that it's not an angle with RP Jr. RP Jr. is just like the off-screen guy. But Eric Tyler reveals that he's going to be in a battle royal and he will not be in the six-man tag versus the All-Star team. He has bigger things to accomplish than taking out some, punks, whatever. He'll one-on-one stuff. Now, following that, we do go a big angle that I kind of teased last show, is Beelzebub actually beats down, hurts Dusty Streets, makes him unconscious, as I typed. And the reason for that is pretty simple, as Dusty Streets did not want to be in the match with um, Sam Strong, so I wanted to write him out of the match. And this is the way that made sense, where Beelzebub was going to be a heel. He was going to face the Whistler anyways, as the Whistler is closer in popularity, so I felt like it's a good way to gradually build. You can't just like force feed build too much in this game. You can only, I think it's like 5 at a time, which whatever. So Beelzebub beats down Dusty Streets here. Now there was no like road agent note to put him over an angle or anything. It was just literally to continue the angle. Beelzebub did have an angle idea that we utilized here. Okay, and then following that, we do of course get to our battle royal with Sam Strong shockingly overcoming the odds and picking up the win and becoming one of our main eventers of Total Mayhem. So in the Battle Royal, I didn't really get too particular in the notes of everything. It was 20 minutes, but I wanted to have it where Eric Tyler and Romeo Heartthrob were the last two eliminated. I think these are purely cosmetic as a way to kind of give um, immersion. But to me, I thought it would be important that like Sam Strong overcoming the odds at the end, beating down or defeating the two heels that have been probably pushed the hardest besides Ripcord and his boys and the Danger whatever. Mayhem Midian and the Knight Rider join the roster in the Battle Royal. They are just going to be lower mid card heels that I can use to job out to other guys. I wanted to say, as well as in the Battle Royal, like an angle that I'll probably utilize forward is like Flapjack Flanagan could have been eliminated by like a Golden Fox or something. I kind of want to pair him up with the cruiserweights to get them over, and I think it's like a good dynamic where he's like a 6'5" heel, muscle bound guy, first to cruiserweights, and of course he loses. So like, you know, and as well, we can have Cowboy get eliminated by Cobra and Viper to kind of give them credence of like Sam Strong didn't have your back in a battle royal, he won it. Because if you remember, Cobra and Viper have been kind of picking at Cowboy Ricky Dale for looking up to Sam Strong. Pretty basic, nothing you know, I like battle royals never get the greatest ratings, but it's just means to an end. Speaking of means to an end, We do have a backstage segment where Sam Strong's like celebrating his win, and he's kind of promising he's going to be at ringside main event to make sure Brent Hill or Frankie Future don't get involved in the better man wins between Liberty and Ripcord. This leads to Liberty kind of stepping in screen, having that face off with Sam Strong, because I feel like it's important to kind of tease that this could be the main event now. Like, Sam Strong and Ripcord kind of tells itself, but to give some sort of credibility to our main event of Ripcord versus Liberty, that it could be Liberty. We have Liberty face off here, but they shake hands, but it's like a face to face, nose to nose kind of thing. We follow that up with more mid card action, this time with Charlie Homicide defeating Jeb Langley. I had Charlie win here just because it didn't feel like Jeb Langley needed the win. He's going to be used pretty much the same regardless of his popularity. So I feel like he'll get there gradually and organically instead of like just feed him Charlie Homicide, who's someone I'm going to be able to use to get ratings and to get people over that can become bigger stars. We do follow that up. Speaking of using people to get bigger stars, we have the Blazing Flames, the Fleet, Frankie Future and Brent Hill. Not to deplete their momentum as Ripcord's proteges, but we do have Teddy Flame defeating Frankie Future as a way to continue that Frankie Future not fitting the bill of being Ripcord's protege, and get Teddy Flame and the Blazing Flames or get back on these two for kind of being a thorn in our side the first couple weeks of the year. We have the Untouchables losing the All-Star team. Pretty basic six-man tag here. Just our two stables going at it with the All-Star team, of course, picking up the win. And with Eric Tyler not in the match, we still have Eric Tyler versus Brian and RP Jr. ahead of us. I would, if Eric Tyler was in this match, I would have considered using him to win to give like Robert Oxford and Joel Bryant, he would have been in Paul's place, some popularity, but it just wasn't right. I feel like that's too big of a jump for everyone. So we just had the All-Star team win here, as well as just have some faces win ahead of our main event with Ripcord versus Liberty, with Ripcord defeating Liberty, and a pretty solid match. We have 15 minutes, open, regular, decisive. Sam Strong was ringside, so there was no messery or no dusty finish, none of that. This match was pretty great. The locker room morale's not great right now, I guess, which is something I'll have to deal with, and we'll figure out how to deal with as we go. But overall, pretty happy with our first pay-per-view. I do want, a lot of people that were already popular coming into the paper or into the thing were the winners. Like, there's no like shocker of like who won, or no new stars effectively won quite yet, but we'll get there. So we're gonna give Liberty, and then I want to give Larry Vesey because he did take the loss versus Eric Tyler well, and I think it's just a good way to keep them happy. We did only lose $60,000, considering 25 of that is to the pay-per-view provider, and then let's see, I think 150,000 to Eric Tyler, not Eric Tyler, to Sam Strong, and I think like half that to Ripcord for the pay-per-view. So it's not bad. If you take those like things out, we are down like 3.5 mil, but we do go up 2 popularity points from the beginning, so we're up 1 popularity point from our past episode. Because like I said, once we get to 65, it'll be smooth sailing. So we're fine losing money until we get to 65 popularity. And if I'm still losing popularity when I'm on Ace, we'll have to figure it out from there. Made a loss from that. No, we're very healthy. Yeah, let's see. He will be okay. We'll just do as long as he's doing that. I'm sorry, I should read these out loud. Where does the HGC locker room is a mess and morale's low? How do you respond with this? I'm just gonna say I don't interfere in the locker room's business. They can sort it out themselves. It seems like everyone agrees that the show is a success. What are my thoughts now? It was a huge success. The whole roster should be proud. I'm delighted it went well. It was a good show, but we can still improve. Upwards and onwards. Honestly, it was okay, but I think we can still do better. I was disappointed. I think we can put on much better shows. I'll say huge success. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Tribal Warrior off night. For off nights, I always just go, everyone has off nights from time to time, give them a break. So maybe like if I do like a role series down the line, one of the roles is always just the worst option. So that I think that could be fun and give me a little bit of a headache to play some different type of way. Following that, we have backstage sources saying that Romeo Heartthrob and Danny Rushmore, there's tension between them. Non-issue, they'll work it out. Fully support either of them. Stop being unprofessional. I don't care. It's a non-issue. They'll work it out. Okay, so not that bad there of a media scrum, no negative like harms or backstage brawls or pastries were 8, so I'm cool with that. Whatever. Okay, 162,000 as a base isn't bad. We did get up to 1 popularity point. We are down, like I said, at 3.5 mil. But like I said, with us not gaining or not having any new stars really develop and get a win there, I'm not worried about the popularity. We're just kind of developing people as a way to eventually get them that big win. So like Jeb Langley eventually will defeat a Charlie Homicide. Liberty will hopefully eventually get up there in popularity to defeat Ripcord. Ripcord is like 90 popularity. So is he going down? No. Okay, he's not going down, so that's good. He's 90 popularity versus, Liberty is like lower to 30s average. Sam Strong has high 90s. He's not gonna just be like, yeah, Jimmy Power can take one of over on me. Like, so I gotta build these guys gradually. That's like the thing of the game where you can't just go, from 0 to 60. It takes a while to get to 20, and then once you get to like 35, popularity should be pretty easy. So like someone like Eric Tyler, who is like our biggest winner in popularity, he's already at 15 because he gained 5 with each victory, and he has 3 wins over people more popular than him. And he's going to continue to get more popular, so he's going to be someone that then I'll be able to use. He can now lose to like a just example Liberty, and then Eric Tyler can just beat like one of the Blazing Flames, and then he could lose to Cowboy, and then he can beat the other one of the Blazing Flames, so on and so on. So it's not 50-50 booking, but there's certain people that I'll be able to utilize as a way to get over more and more. So like Cowboy, he went up 5 popularity over the course of the past 6 weeks, so I'm pretty happy with that. Something I did address in the short yesterday, if you watched it, is there's 2 SWF people who are coming up on deal soon, Rory McCallum and Sean McFly. I do want to point out, I'm probably not going to sign Sean McFly. I feel like he's just a great wrestler and doesn't have much of a character that I can toy with. So just be like, I don't know, like I could just like, of course, just spam him in main events and stuff, but that's just not what I want to do. So I'm probably just gonna let him resign or do whatever he wants. And then Rory, on the other hand, I feel like there is like possibility there with the angles, and it feels like he can be like our Lex Luger Sting, like jumping ship guy, where he becomes like a possible like well, Dusty Streets is our third like strongest star, but like our number 4, number 5 guy, and he's only 37, so he's considerably younger than those guys. So, well, with the drug abuser thing, so maybe not, but I think that's a possibility. Outside of that, I think Tommy Cornell and Sid Streets might be 2 guys that I consider signing down the line when they're available, but that's in July, so we got to get a Total Mayhem first. But yeah, first pay-per-view down. First pay-per-view is a success. It was pretty much just setting the stage for Total Mayhem and real Cverse Lore that happened, not this. The champions of the international champion, the tag champions, and the world champion were crowned, which I believe it was Sam Strong, the Vessies, and I'm forgetting the international. I want to say it might have been Peter Valentine, where he's like Peter Valentine. For those who don't know, it's like Sam Strong's bestie. He's a rookie. He got a pretty dang strong push early on versus I can't really do that. And I mean, look at his stats, nor would I. But yeah, so we are already kind of going at a different angle of the TCW HGC lore. But yeah, let me know what you think. How you would have, what did your first pay-per-view look like? Is there someone I should have put over stronger here? But thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Talk to you guys next time.